Here we go, my friends, talking to you about EMF. I've got my meters, I've got my tools, a lot of knowledge for you. I got really sick a few months ago from overexposure to some power lines in my backyard. And I'm going to give you a lot of information here, but right off the bat, I know your time is valuable. I'm going to tell you something amazing that will save you so much and give you so much energy. Turn the power off to your bedroom at night at the breaker. Trust me, try it. You'll sleep so much better. This right here is a RF meter. This is picking up Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, cell phones, cordless phones, radio signals. And I'm in a city, so it says it's high right now. And as the years go by, we keep adding more and more wireless devices. And so this number 10 years ago used to be lower, everything's going wireless, cameras, your locks, all the smart devices. So there's a lot of evidence that this is harming our bodies, causing anxiety, causing early cell death, early aging, oxidation, inflammation. So the solution is a little complicated, but there's two ways to do it. You can kind of shield yourself. Like right now, I'm in an apartment in the city. The wireless is off. The phone I'm recording here is on airplane mode. I'll upload this later using a Ethernet adapter. So this plugs into my iPhone. This is the lightning connector. The lightning connectors, the older ones, the newer ones are USB-C. You can get some slimmer, smaller ones. You can plug this right into your phone, plug this right into your Ethernet, go right into your modem, get a really long cable, run it to where you can. Run it through the walls if you need to. You can drill holes through your walls, run the cables around. You can run it outside your house and in. It's not too hard. Or you can hire someone to do it for you. The easy way, but maybe not the best way, is to use these. This is called Ethernet over power. It works, but it does add noise to the electrical field. The noise is the internet, the communications, the TCP/IP. I have a degree in computer network administration back in the 90s. So yeah, these are easy to get, they're affordable. It's an easy way to you plug it in where your router is. You plug it in where your router is, and then you plug this to your router, or your modem, basically. You want to make sure your modem has no Wi-Fi. Plug this in. And then on the other side, in another room, you plug another one. They come in pairs. So you get two of them, they come in pairs. And there's a little button you can make sure they sync together, but usually they're plug and play. It's pretty easy. So you plug in one where your internet comes into your house, the other one where you're going to use the internet. And it works pretty good. It's not as fast as a direct Ethernet, but if you have old wiring, you might have issues, and so you might have to move it around to find out where your best circuit is. So a little trial and error. But ideally, if you're going to be in a home for a long time, run the Ethernet cable. This is what an Ethernet cable looks like, and run it. If you need multiple devices, there's a thing called a switch right here. This has 5 ports, and you plug one to where your internet comes in at your modem. This goes in the modem, or comes in from your Ethernet source. Wherever your Ethernet's coming in, you plug it in, and then you plug another one in here, and it goes out to your devices. You can get different size cables. This is a shielded cable, meaning it's protected. So this is the best cable to get. These are like the cheap ones, the regular unshielded. So if there's an electrical field connected to your Ethernet, which happens, this will put out an energetic field, which I'll get to next. But this is a shielded switch. It has metal clips in here, and it's not too much money. This is a TP-Link, and and these cables, they have metal on the side. So the metal to metal is what grounds things and shields things. So then I'll talk about the next thing, which is the electrical field. So if you're using appliances and they've just got a regular like 2-prong, just two, but not the grounded one, if it's just these top two, then what's going to happen for the wires is you're going to have about 3-ish feet wide of an electrical field. And if you hang around it for too long, it's going to start irritating your body. If you're elevated off the earth, the electrons will just start building up on your body and kind of messing with you that way. If you are grounded to the earth, then you become a path to ground. Like that's what this is. Electricity is always going to find a path to ground. So use things that are grounded if possible, because the electrical field is going to be a lot less. Ideally, you'd want grounded and shielded for the smallest electrical field. To test the electrical fields, you can use your senses if you're sensitive, like a lot of us are. Just kind of put your hand and your body close to it and just be really tuned into how it feels, and you'll start to pick up where things are. If you're totally saturated with it all the time, then yeah, it's going to be hard to kind of understand what's going on. So getting away, going camping, going into nature for a long time, and then kind of going back, it's easier to feel like, whoa. And this is a tool that you can use, and you kind of move this back and forth, and you can see in real time the electrical field. So where I'm sitting now, there is no electrical field. These are most accurate when you plug this into a ground, but it works generally okay. There's different kinds of this. This is a gigahertz model, and it's the 3830B. And it also does magnetic fields. You switch this, and then it reads the magnetic field. Right now, it's not too high. This is a single axis, so you're supposed to move it around in the 3-dimensional space to see if the numbers change, wherever you get the highest reading. So I'm in the 10s, and that's really good. Ideally 0 is best, but I do pretty good, like, I don't know, 20 and under is ideal, 40 and under is okay, but once I get above 50 and above, then it's like, I feel like this heaviness. It like drags me down, and that was part of what messed me up. As I was sleeping and living in an area that had a high magnetic field, it was like fluctuating depending on the energy usage in the neighborhood, and it would go from 50 up to 120. Yeah, so I can't do that anymore. But I unplugged a lot of things in this apartment when I got here, and reduced the electrical fields. I unplugged all the lights from around the bed. There were some wires going across where the head is, and there's a huge magnetic field. So you're not going to get a good sleep because your body's under stress constantly when it's sleeping. So you're not going to get the depth of rest that's possible. So let me talk a little bit about the radiations. Our bodies are designed to heal when we sleep from radiation, and we get natural radiation from the sun. Now we're getting man-made radiation from all the devices. And the man-made radiation is not this pure, smooth wave that comes from the sun, like sunlight is in these beautiful waves. It's natural. Because information's being sent on these waveforms, it's really jagged. So digital technology works with ones and zeros, binary. It's data, so it's on, off. So you're gonna have these like jagged edges of on, off, on, off, on, off. And you're gonna have these micro harmonics of complicated communication. So the technology is getting more and more complicated, but it's still this jagged edge. So it's not the same as the sun, and in theory, when we can sleep in an environment without radiation, like when the sun, we're designed to go to bed when the sun sets. So when the sun sets, there's no radiation, and then our body can fully heal. But if the body's under stress from radiation, it's getting stimulated, there's interference. And there's a lot of information to share on that subject. There's a lot of science on it, a lot of understanding of the actual chemical processes, but I'm just making it simple for you. If you want to know more in detail, just ask me, and I'll see if I can find that for you. I understand it can affect the melatonin, which is an antioxidant. And yeah, so and basically just my experience and my friend's experience, sharing that turning off the electricity in your bedroom will give you better sleep, and it's totally real. Feel a lot better. And if you can't turn electricity off, just don't sleep right next to a wall, because in every wall it's code. It's the legal code to have electrical wires. You can't see them, but they're in all the walls where the electrical outlets are. They run horizontally mostly, sometimes vertically up and around, and you can discover where they are with these things. So you're most likely going to have a wire along the wall, and most people put the beds right up to the wall where our heads are. So if you turn that circuit off, electricity won't be flowing through it, and then it won't be getting on your body. As far as the RF situation, this is like microwave radiation. It's very low level radiation, but over a long period of time, it's causing early aging and early cell death and inflammation and anxiety, and I experience all those things. So what I'm doing, and everyone's experiencing, look at the world, it's pretty nuts right now. Windows can have a film on them, like a tint, like a window tint, and the company that makes this is Safe Living Technologies. They're out of Canada. This is the Safe and Sound Pro 2. But Safe Living Technologies sells products, and I'm not affiliated with them yet. I consulted with Jeremy Johnson. He gave me a code to get 15%. He gets a cut. If you want that, let me know. But I'm not making any money from this. This is just good karma to help you. So at Safe Living Technologies, they have this window film. I bought it. It was a little pricey. It's a few $100 investment, depending on how many windows you have. But I did my RV and I did my truck, and it drops the signals down to about 90% reduction. So not completely remove it. My house, I turned off all the Wi-Fi. Don't use cell phones. Everything's on airplane mode. I asked my guests to turn on airplane mode, and they're a little awkward, but they're cool with it. The signals from this, they're down in the bottom. They're in the green. They're down here. They're like usually 10 and under. Sometimes there's a little spike because there's all the smart meters sending out Wi-Fi. Oh, we turned off our smart meter. We opted out of our smart meter because the Wi-Fi is like, that's right there next to the house, and it goes into our backyard. We had our neighbor. We inspired her to turn off her Wi-Fi. She's dealing with cancer. Her partner died in that house. She's having trouble with getting out of bed and energy. I mean, she has huge issues. I went there and turned off all her wireless. She's doing better. But she still has a big magnetic field in her house. There's a power line really close to her house. But back to the RF solution. So you can put this thin film on your windows, and it reduces light a little bit, but not by a lot. You can also get curtains. Curtains are not as effective because there's gaps and stuff, but it's better, and if it leaves the windows normal. But when you open the windows, the signal comes in. So the film is really the best. You just hire someone that does window tinting, and they have to read the instructions. The film needs to be extra squeegeed, like 3 times more than they think it needs to be, and it needs to have sunlight and airflow for the water to evaporate. And it works great on flat glass. If it's curved glass, like on a truck, it needs a little more care and really needs to make sure it's done really well. So that's for RF. If you can't do any of that, and you're in a situation where you're camping or you're traveling, what you can get is these bed canopies. Like it's like a circle and then like a draped fabric. The fabric has some metal fibers in it that creates like a Faraday cage, so it deflects the signals. Or I'm gonna have to learn how to articulate how that works, but it works. Jeremy Johnson, my consultant, recommended that as an option. So when we're out and about in the world, we're getting blasted with all this RF. When we're walking down the streets and there's a bunch of power lines, we're getting the electric and the magnetic fields. We're gonna need to make sure we are taking care of our bodies. So what I'm doing is I'm drinking hydrogen, water. I'm also have a breathing machine, and hydrogen is the master antioxidant. It's like the smallest molecule, goes into all parts of the body really fast, and it'll find free radicals that are things that cause oxidation and damage in the body. Basically broken cell parts, broken things are looking for a match. So when hydrogen meets oxygen, it neutralizes into water. It's safe to use. This is great for traveling. This is a Q Life Max. I'm not affiliated, don't make any money. From that, blessings to you. There is another easy way. This is from Dr. Mercola. These are tablets. You drop this in the water. This is great when, like, for flying, traveling, or if you're just busy and you don't have time. Because this takes about 5 minutes to make a batch. And you can do a double strength batch on this, which makes this special. You can make it twice as strong as most of them on the market, but it takes 10 minutes to do that. So I make it part of my routine when I come back in, fill it up with water. And it's best to use this with purified water, reverse osmosis or distilled for the longest life of it, but I think I'm understanding you can use spring water. I don't know how long, or I don't know the long-term effects of minerals on the membrane. So that's this, but these tablets can be put into any kind of water. There's no membrane, it's just some kind of chemical reaction that goes on. It has magnesium in it. It has dextrose, malic acid, L-tartaric acid, and adipic acid. I don't know much about those, honestly, but I do trust Dr. Mercola, so I'm going with it. It's not something I do all the time, but if I really feel like I got a lot of exposure, I take this. And what's nice is if you have hydrogen in your system and it floats around for a while, it doesn't last forever. And I don't know how long it stays in the body completely, but it will neutralize. So if the cells get damaged or some kind of, you get even toxin exposure from car exhaust or whatever, the hydrogen will neutralize it. So it's a super powerful antioxidant. It's smaller than all the other molecules, whereas like vitamin C is big and it can't get into all the cells. So the hydrogen could go everywhere, all the cells, inside the mitochondria. It's amazing. And it is really changing my life. Sometimes I wake up and I feel like 20 again. So that's been helping me. Also the Nascent iodine, I don't have it right here, but taking iodine is super important. You can take high doses. I get it from Global Healing. It's on Amazon. That was amazing. It opened up my third eye. I made a video on that. Check it out if you want to see that. That was cool. Life was kind of like a cartoon and beautiful, and a lot of love was moving through me. So yeah, Nascent iodine works on the thyroids, your thermometer, affects all our hormones and our energy levels. I got off caffeine with the iodine, but also the hydrogen helped me. I did like a half an hour breathing at night, and that's about 1,000 times stronger than the water bottle. It's really potent, and it feels amazing. After half an hour, you kind of get saturated, and it's a really nice sensation. Thinking about offering it to people, because the machine's about $2,000. So maybe it can be a service, you know, like a hydrogen bar kind of thing, or come stay in a beautiful place and get to breathe this and relax. What else to share with you? About the electrical field. So remember I was talking about the 2-prong and the ground. So this is a little thing that is made by Apple, and it's this is a USB. They also make a USB-C version. It's a little bit bigger. But what's great about Apple is that they've designed it. They have a ground plug. So they have the positive and negative, the hot and the neutral, where the electricity flows through in the circuit. And then there's the ground. And this is a third-party device. I bought it off Amazon. Some guy's selling it on there. So this is not from Apple. But when you plug this in here, the electric field goes like completely down. Like I don't read anything. But if all the cell phone chargers, if you have those plugged in, there's a big field that comes off of it. So you don't want that near your bed where you're sleeping. You don't want it near your working or your table. You don't want that, because this is what we're using a lot. So get yourself an Apple charger. This is like what they came with iPads. You can get them. It's a 12-watt adapter. You can find it. It's a 12W USB power adapter. So these are easy to find. And then just look for the Apple grounded adapter. If you have trouble finding it, let me know and I'll put up a link. And then you can plug a USB in there, and this is how I charge my phone, my water bottle. This is the one I take for the water bottle, and this has a USB plug, USB-C on one side and a USB-A on this side. And this, this is powered by USB-C. More things to talk about. Since we're on that subject, this is the one I use for my phone. It's all wrapped up, but this is the same thing, but this comes from Apple. this you can get like with the laptops, the Mac. So this plugs into here, it's grounded, and then you have a really long cable, really long cable. So this is nice when I use my phone and I need to be on the internet, say I'm streaming a video or something, I plug this in and my battery doesn't go down, and I have a really long USB cord. So it's not as ideal as wireless, things can get in the way, but if you design your house right, you can run this under a couch or, around things, and then you can have, station for your phone, maybe near where you're cooking or where your dining room table or your couch watching videos. And I'm using a tripod, not holding the phone, because the phone has its own energy issue. We're not designed to hold computers. I mean, computers used to be in a box. Back in the 90s when they first started. Actually, when they first started, they took up a whole room. You may have heard that. But yeah, we're not supposed to be touching and holding computers. That's not how it was. It's causing people hand pain, and it was causing me hand pain too, and that's why I stopped. So I've got this thing on a tripod right now. It's from Ulanzi. I mean, there's so many tripods out there, but I really like this one. It's kind of like a selfie stick. It goes up really high, so I can have it up really high if I need to. It's really stable. It's beautiful. It's a Chinese thing, but I have a little adapter. Maybe I need to give more information on this if you're interested, but I have it like a little custom setup where I have a magnetic mount on the tripod, so I can just magnetically put my phone on there, and it's great. It's great. And I just touch my phone for a moment, but I don't hold it. I don't keep it next to my body. It's been causing pain in my hip. I saw a video where these moms were talking about a woman that had cancer, where she put her phone, everyone's putting a phone in the bra or in the back pocket. I mean, it's not good. If you do that for too long, you could get cancer if you're not taking care of yourself. So beware. That's why I'm sharing this video. I really think EMF is like a fundamental issue that we need to talk about. It's because the way I experience it is there's just like this low level anxiety where I know the highest potential of humanity is to be relaxed and at ease, and energy's flowing through the body, and we're experiencing ourselves as creators. So I'm going to be moving myself more and more into the country. It's helping to set up more spaces that are EMF free or as low as possible, wireless free. I use a program to make phone calls on my phone from Open Phone, and there's other apps out there. There's a lot of options out there. It's just a little app. You get a new number and you can call and text with it. You can also get a landline, Vonage is what I used for a long time. I had a little bit of an issue because the power came through the Ethernet. It came into the phone, and when I was using it, I could feel it. So I just would use it on speakerphone. I got like an old school, big buttons, like for old people, but it was cool. I used that, and it was okay for speakerphone, but I feel like I'm gonna be traveling a lot, and I don't want to be like taking a huge phone with me. That's kind of complicated to set up. So I got this Open Phone. It syncs across all my devices, my computer, my iPad, my iPhone. There's a lot more to talk about. You can get a grounded adapter for your Ethernet if you find out there's an energy signature coming in. I think it's electrahealth.com sells these customized grounding adapters for Ethernet. There's just the basic grounding adapter. The Ethernet goes in one side and goes out the other, and there's a little grounding wire that wraps into it, and then you plug that into the ground on the electric, and that'll reduce your field. They also have them tied into a USB-C adapter, so you can use that on the back of your monitor, or your phone, or your computer, and that'll help ground your computer. If I actually was hurting myself using my laptop into power, but it's ungrounded. I've been living in a lot of older houses, So I had to run a new line, make sure it's grounded, make sure your computer's grounded. Try to make sure all your power is grounded. Don't use old funky wiring. You got to get new wiring. You can just get at least one line ran to your room or wherever you are. Oh, and the other thing about power is, like, I turned off the power to my bedrooms and my living room. I still have power in the garage and the kitchen, but we needed power for running the computers with this and running the Ethernet, because I'm not going to be there forever, so we're just keeping it that way. But the point I'm trying to make is, in the room, because if it's in a box, I put the power like right in a corner, the very corner. And so the bed, if the power's here, the bed's like over here. So there'd be a field of energy and everything right there, but you're not sleeping next to it, you're not working next to it, you're not hanging out next to it, there's not a chair there, it's just, there's an area, and then, a few feet out, and then you can have your desk. So it runs, you gotta be mindful of keeping distance to that stuff. Wherever we're spending a lot of time, we don't want these energy fields where we're spending a lot of time. But we're okay if we move through it, we touch it, whatever, the body can adapt. It's our modern life. Hey, what are we gonna do? But where we sleep, where we work, that's what Jeremy really got me understanding. It's like, where we sleep, where we work needs to be low, it's like zero, as close as possible. He called it having a sleep sanctuary, so I love that. One last thing for speakers, for a lot of them are Bluetooth. This is Bluetooth, but also it says aux, so it has the whole old school. So little headphone jack. I think it's 3.5 millimeter, 3.5 mm headphone jack cord. There's different lengths, and depending on what you're plugging into, this is the adapter for Apple, so it takes it from the headphone jack to Lightning, but you can get the USB-C ones. So this is nice for travel. Comes with a little case. This is from Bose. I think it's a SoundLink. What's it say? Yeah, I think it's the SoundLink 2. These are probably still around. It's been awesome for me. And this is a little case, and I keep my cables and my charger in that. And this, you can plug this in with USB, charge it up. Sounds great. So what else can I share you? So this is important. This came with the meters. I got a couple more meters to show you, but these are the building biology guidelines. So this is for sleeping. So, and the green is where we really want it to be, where we're sleeping. I mean, if we're in the yellow, it's okay for maybe short time, but we really want to, like, long-term, try to get to the green. That's where, it's a really low amount of radiation. The body's going to be able to heal and repair itself when we sleep. And I would use these numbers also for where we're working, if possible. So these are the standards, and where I am right now, what the wireless is saying right now, I mean, it's up in the high, it's up in the the reds up there. So check that out. I don't know if you can see that, but there's this little button you can press, and it resets. There's a maximum and there's a peak, and get these like pulses, but it's kind of low, and you get these pulses. So I'm just here temporarily, but I'm on my way to the country, and I'm going to build homes that have a new way of doing electricity. Like I said, just maybe one power to the corner. I'm also going to be doing DC power. Like right now we have AC power, it does this waveform, and those have the big fields, but DC power, you can run low voltage. You can run USB, you can run lights. I don't have something to show you, but at home, what we're doing, like in areas that I can't get power to without doing major construction, I'm using these battery banks. The simpler the better, I'm realizing, as far as like how they feel, less circuitry, and but they can run lights, they can charge phones, so those are really nice to have. And then I've got these little USB lights. They're available. There's a lot of options out there. I'm also using these red lights. You can get them at the Shielding Shop is one place that sells them. They have this little night light, and it does red light. It's a rechargeable thing. It works for a long time, so put that in the bathroom and the living room if I have to go out and in the middle of the night and get water or pee or whatever. The red light allows me to stay in that sleep mode. Any type of blue light, if I wake up and I see blue light, I'm like awake, and then my sleep gets messed up, and you know, there's no replacement for sleep. Well, thank you for listening. I hope that was inspiring. There's one more thing, one important thing. So this measures dirty electricity. This is something you plug in. I don't want to do it. It makes kind of a bad sound. But there's this thing called dirty electricity, which is like the frequencies that run on the wires. So if you're in an electric field, there's gonna be just this extra zzz, coming, and it comes from switching power supplies. It comes from the fridge, the air conditioner. Actually, it comes from a lot of the USB chargers. These things. It's basically taking a high voltage, converting it to a low voltage, and in the process, it's creating dirty electricity. And each device is made differently. I don't think the designers, I'm sure some are, but the majority of awareness is still not understanding. But I don't want to say that too. I also want to project that people are going to wake up, people are going to realize we're going to make the circuitry better so it makes less noise on the circuits. Electrical engineers are aware of it in creating like cars and computers, because they realize the noise on one circuit can affect another circuit, and it can create problems, and cars and appliances need to be working well. So there is some shielding understanding out there, but I'm hoping this video and your consciousness, and you're going to be talking about it, you're going to be thinking about it, that we need to start designing our world to reduce all these things that are potentially harmful. One other thing to say as far as electricity goes, Jeremy was saying the electric fields go out like a lot. I mean, I don't remember the exact number, but it seemed like over 10 feet, he was saying, from regular electrical wire, like the Romex, unshielded. And I guess I can kind of feel that. I feel my best just being out in the garden and nature. That's where I feel most at peace. And I'm away from society, like way away, and the meters are all saying like low, 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 green. That's when I feel the best. So that's why I'm going to be working on designing homes that can be using DC power instead of AC, and then having the AC power maybe just to one corner of the house where the kitchen is and the laundry is, and just have the power on one side, and then the rest of the house, the living room, the bedrooms, the bathroom, just the lights can be run with low voltage DC. Hopefully I can get away, we can have USB plugs, and just, we don't need a ton of power. A lot of our appliances are very efficient now. I mean, the fridges, they run on DC, but they have an AC plug and they have a converter, so we can just go directly to DC. Solar is DC, but then we have these inverters, and they make a lot of noise. A lot, actually. It's actually kind of a big deal, the solar inverters. And then everyone gets a solar system in their house. It connects to the grid, and then there's more and more noise on the grid. And so that's what's happening right now, is there's just like this like as the sirens go off in the background. It's just this raising of extra shit that's stressing us out, and we don't need. So that's why I'm speaking to you. Raise your consciousness. Share the word, share the video, leave a comment, please. Yeah, hopefully this helps you. And I wrote a book called Activate, A Guide into Your Highest Self. So if you want learn a little bit more about who I am, and also how to find the answer within yourself to anything that you're needing to seek, you can find it within when you get still. There's breath work in here. It's about understanding the multidimensional world that we're in, and the light and the dark that's going on, the battle that's going on, how to stay strong, how to breathe and center yourself, how to expand energy in your body, why healing to wholeness is important, why healing our traumas is so crucial. We got to heal our lower primitive stuff before we can rise into the higher orders and experience ourselves as conscious co-creators directing reality, which is really fun. I made some other videos on my YouTube, my third eye experience, getting free of the mind, and talking about oxalates, the food that it's plant toxins in our food. basically the plant's natural insecticide. So a lot of the healthy foods we think are healthy can damage us if we eat a lot of it over time, which is what I did, innocent me. But I read a book, made a video on that. Toxic Superfoods by Sally Norton is the book I read. I read it just cover to cover. It was amazing. Thanks for listening. Hopefully that was really useful for you. Please watch this multiple times. I know I went pretty fast. I'm not necessarily a consultant for this. I'm happy to help you. If you do need consulting, there are EMF consultants and building biologists out there. For meters, you can go to Safe Living Technologies. They have the good meters. This is the one they make, the Safe and Sound Pro. This is the gigahertz. There's some cheaper ones out there, but you might get false positives. You might think, oh, it's fine, but it's not. So yeah, I consulted with Jeremy Johnson, and he set me straight. And it was relatively affordable to work with him. And if you want to learn more about hydrogen, there's a guy named Taiwan Hubbard. He runs H2 Hub with 2 B's, H2HUBB.com. He's the guy that I consulted to find out what products to get. He's the only guy in the world that's independently verifying the accuracy to the claims of these manufacturers, because it's a new emerging technology. So there's a lot of options out there. Appreciate you taking the time to learn about this important issue. I really do think this is fundamental to our health. If you can turn the electricity off to your bedroom, you'll thank me later. Try it out for a week. See how you do. If you need to charge your phone in another room. If you need to have a light, you can get a little battery powered USB light, or just you could use candles, I guess. And also go to bed. Go to bed when the sun goes down. I encourage you. You will get deeper sleep. You'll wake up early in the morning with tons of energy. You'll want to go run outside and dance around and celebrate life. All right. Sending you lots of hope and optimism and strength for us to navigate this new moment in humanity's this new moment that we're all going through together. Yeah, I love you. Peace out.